Hello, how are you? I hope that you're fine. Today I'm going to talk about the topic of Lesson 2, Chapter 4, and it is about how do organisms interact in ecosystems. So please get ready with your science book. Here you have the pages. And let's start. What are you going to learn here? We're going to talk about interactions in ecosystems, energy roles in ecosystems, decomposers, the difference between food chains and food webs, what are some roles in ecosystems, and symbiosis. We're going to start with interactions in ecosystems. Remember that ecosystems are made up of living and non-living things. So, for example, we can talk about plants, animals, and they are living things. Rocks, pieces of wood or metal, they are non-living things. The living things, they have to look for space or food, and the living things can help each other, eat others, or even compete among them to obtain food or water, for example. Here you can have an example of a prey and a predator, that this is something important in interactions in ecosystems. The prey is an animal that is hunted by others for food, for example, in this case, the zebra. And also we have a predator, which is an animal that hunts and eats another animal. In this case, we have a lion. We can have more examples about it. Energy roles in ecosystems. Each organism in an ecosystem can be producers or consumers. So, who are the producers? Plants and some other organisms are producers. We already talked about producers in lesson 1 when we talk about photosynthesis and all of those things. Consumers are organisms that cannot produce their own food. So they eat producers, for example, a rabbit that is going to eat carrots, or they can eat other consumers, for example, a lion that is going to eat a zebra. They're classified into herbivores that eat plants only. They have carnivores, eat meat only, or omnivores that eat plants and meat. The decomposers are in a different group because they are organisms that get their energy by breaking down wastes and dead organisms. So we're going to see that they are going to wait until a living thing is dead so they can take it to obtain the energy, to obtain their food. During this process, decomposers return materials to an ecosystem, and some decomposers can be seen only by using a microscope. For example, if you're going to see a worm, mushrooms, insects, you can see them just with your eyes. But if you're going to see a bacteria, you have to use a special instrument, for example, a microscope. In the food chains that are all around the world, the energy passes through an ecosystem when food is eaten, and that energy can take different paths or directions in an ecosystem. This direction can be shown in a food chain. And what is a food chain? It is a series of steps by which energy moves from one type of living thing to another. So it means that the plant is going to have energy and it is going to pass this energy to the primary consumer, for example, a giraffe, and then the giraffe is going to die and the decomposer is going to break down the waste. So all the energy was transformed, okay, and it moves from one organism to another. The food chain can include producers, consumers, and decomposers. The food webs. So we're going to see what is the difference between a food chain and a food web. A food web is a diagram that combines many food chains into one picture. So let's look at the food chain. In a food chain, the energy flows only in one direction. Let's look at the grass. Then the grasshopper eats the grass. The frog is going to eat the grasshopper. The snake eats the frog. The hawk eats the snake. And then the decomposer, the fungi, is going to break down the hawk. Okay? There is only like a circle. And the energy goes to one direction. But in a food web, you can see all the food chains connected in an ecosystem. So as you can see, there is no only one circle. There are many arrows around, and they are going to follow some or different directions. Okay, so it is important that a food web is going to contain many food chains, and they can change, they can vary. The roles in ecosystems. Every organism in the ecosystem has a niche. And what is a niche? It is a process that includes type of food the organism takes in, for example, what does the organism eat, how it gets its food, and which other species use the organism as food, so who are its predators, for example. And we're going to see also that organisms have to compete, as I told you at the beginning of the presentation. Food, soil, space, water, sunlight, mates, like their friends, for example, or the other animals that are around. So all of these are things that maybe can start a competition between animals or any type of organism, plants, for example. Finally, we have this symbiosis. It is a long-term relationship between two different organisms. So, in this relationship, one organism is always helped and the other organism can be harmed, helped, or not affected. And in here, in the link that I sent you in the document for the activities, you can click here on the link to watch a video about the clownfish. So see you soon, bye bye, and let me know if you have questions. Have a great day.